Welcome back to my channel. My name's Karen and today I thought I would do a little video of getting ready with me because I'm going over to see my partner today. So I thought, why not film myself getting ready? And as the title says, I am using a mixture of Avon products and Rimmel. So I am actually an Avon rep, but they are not sponsoring this video. However, if you do want to purchase anything, I have a store and I will link it in the description. So if you want to go and have a look, then that would be great. And obviously if you do order, then I do get commission. So I've got my tea, I've got my cute little headband, I'm in my little Primark dressing gown because, you know, if you're going to get ready with all your foundation and everything, you don't want to be spilling it, do you? So the first product I normally put on after washing my face and getting that all cleansed is this, a new, was it dual eye system from Avon. I'll put pictures on the screen and description and price. Now the price that I put of these products will be the price that is available right now in the current brochure. However, prices do change and the brochure changes every month, so you'll just have to have a look at the time. I've already put this on that goes underneath your eyes, and then I've put the gel over the top, although I still think it should be the other way around, because the gel is quite cooling, but this is supposed to help like with under eye bags. I'm not sure it's doing much today. Typical, isn't it? I thought I'd film a get ready with me and maybe talk about stuff, and then I wake up this morning and my eyes are all like black and tired, and I don't know why. It's not like I've been out partying. Maybe I should, perhaps I'll look better then, I don't know. But anyway, this is real life and this is a real person. So that is the first one that I normally put on as well. And then I've got a professional setup here. I've got a chair and I've got all my products here and I'm sat on the sofa. So yeah, totally professional, but hey ho. The next one I use is this. Oh, I can't see. So bad, isn't it? Like when you get older and your eyes they just don't work anymore. It's not fair. This one is also from Avon and it's another eye product. How ironic, I'm showing you eye products and I can't see. It's Skin Renewal Power Eye Cream, and it's actually, the new one has got a lip contour as well. This one is only a few months old, but it's not in the current brochure, so it's very similar packaging, but it says lip contour as well. Again, the price and the description will be on the screen somewhere, as if by magic. Have I put this one on? I think I have already. No, I haven't. Oh my god. Does anyone else get like this? I'm 56 now and rapidly heading towards my 60s, and literally I go upstairs to get something and I forget, or I go into the kitchen to do something and then I forget why I've gone in there. Like, does that happen to anyone else? Crazy. I thought I'd talk about the menopause as well whilst getting ready. I know that if you are in my age bracket and female, then you would undoubtedly either have gone through it, still going through it, or have yet to go through it. Every woman's menopausal journey is totally different, so I thought I'd go through and sort of discuss some of the symptoms that I had. So my menopause journey started when I was 46, so 10 years ago. And at that time there was very little around. There certainly wasn't any info and videos on social media like there are today. I mean, the women heading towards menopause now are very lucky in that there's so much information around, isn't there? But back when I first started, I didn't even know that I was going through it. The first the first symptom that I actually noticed, I started to get really painful joints. So I thought, oh, is it arthritis, osteoporosis, or whatever? I hadn't even thought about the menopause because I was only 46, and I just assumed, like, stupidly and naively, that, you know, menopause didn't happen till you were like past 50. That's not always the case, and it does vary from like woman to woman. If you'd excuse me as well, I'm very bunged up today. I've been bunged up for like a few days, so it's quite annoying because I'm trying to speak and then like my nose blocks up and then I'm like that. I don't think I've got a cold, but I think it's just congestion or stress or whatever, because I'm currently trying to set up my small business as well. I've been setting it up since like I was 12, I think, in my head anyway. It's just there's so much to sort with like sourcing stock, and then things are not right, so I've had to send them back and get a refund, and then I've got to find somewhere else to get them from, and it's just taking way longer than I ever expected. But anyway, I digress. So let me just have a sip of my tea. So yeah, when I first started, I had like just joint pain, especially in my feet, and I went to the doctors and they said that I had something called plantar fasciitis, which is like the band at the back of your heel. I think it gets quite tight, and then when you're trying to put your foot on the floor, it's like you've been stabbed with 1,000 knives. The pain is very real. So like she gave me exercises, just mini little exercises for my feet to try and stretch out the plantar, and that kind of helped for a little bit. Then I started to notice like my hair, I think for me, was probably the biggest. I've always had quite thick and full hair, especially like here, and I noticed that it just seemed to be like a lot thinner, and not only that, like there were a lot more breakages, whereas before like my hair had always been in top condition. Even my hairdresser used to say your hair is always so like luscious and thick, and she said the condition is always so good considering like how often you dye your hair and blah blah blah. And you know, I put it through its paces, especially back in the 80s with the old back combing and hairspray upside down, you know, whatever I could throw on my hair to make it bigger and stick up like 10 feet in the air, then I would. You know, I did put it through its paces, but it always looked healthy and I always looked after it. But I was just finding that even with conditioning and treatment masks, it just didn't look as good as it had done. And then that kind of made me feel quite upset. I mean, it does, doesn't it? Because it's your like crowning glory, and it is supposed to make you feel better and good about yourself. So when your hair looks crap, you feel crap, and that's how I was feeling. And at the time I worked in a school as a teaching assistant, and I absolutely loved my job, but I was finding as the years went on, like little things were just really stressing me out, and then I was finding I was getting really upset about the tiniest thing. It got to such a point that I couldn't cope, and like in the mornings I was crying before I actually went into work. I just didn't know what was happening, but I assumed there was a lot of stress going on in that job. We had a new head teacher and she kind of upset a lot of people, and things just changed like drastically, and it just wasn't a very nice place to be anymore. So I just put it all down to that. And then I went clubbing like at 47 like you do, because you know I always like to go clubbing and partying and stuff. So I went clubbing with my friends, and that, I think the actual night was great. I mean, it was quite cool outside, but I was really hot. I remember thinking, God, I feel like I'm really sweating. And I'd gone to the club and we were dancing for a bit, but I had to keep sitting down, and then I had to keep going outside because I just needed that fresh air. I remember going to the toilet and I looked at myself and I was like, oh my God, like I'm sweating, I look terrible, and I just felt really awful. And I remember phoning my partner at the time and saying, come and get me, because I just want to go home. I just feel horrible. Like, we ended up finishing the night earlier, but I just felt horrible. My hair was just looking terrible, just was sweating. I just felt awful, and I think, you know, if you've been through it, then you will know exactly how I felt. So the next one that I'm going to use is this Power Serum, and this is also from Avon. This I really like. I like the new skincare range. Again, I'll put the information and the current price and description on the screen. But this is lovely. It comes in this pump tube. I just normally just put one little pump on my hand. It's got like a mixture of stuff in it. It's supposed to help boost collagen, but I just love it. I love how it feels on my skin, and it absorbs into your skin like really quickly, so that's good. You have to excuse like how red my skin gets when I'm doing my skincare. I don't know if anyone else gets that. It does calm down once, you know, once you've cooled off a little bit, but my nose is like Rudolph. And that happened because back in 1991 I went I went on my first girls' holiday to my favourite island, Tenerife. And it was the very first time I'd ever gone away without my parents and with like a group of girls, and to Tenerife. So it had a huge like impact on me as a person, and, you know, on my life. I mean, I just love Tenerife now. Unfortunately, I can't afford to go there as often as I like, but, you know, it takes me a long time to save up to actually go. We went, and it was very cloudy. It was September when we went. It was very, very cloudy, so none of us used sunscreen, and of course we were like in our, I think I was 20, was I 21? I think I was 20. You know, we didn't use sunscreen. We were out like from morning to evening, and I don't think we realised just how strong the sun was. So of course it was getting through the clouds, and, you know, intermittently it was coming through, and my nose burnt, and it's never been the same since. I really struggled to cover it. I thought it might be that rosacea. Yeah, I burnt my nose, so that's great. And then I think I did it again in Torquay the following year. So yeah, I obviously didn't learn very much, but yeah, I'm a lot better now. The next one that I'm going to use is also from Avon, and it's the new range, and it's the Platinum range. So I think this is for like over 40s, 50s, and it's supposed to lift and tighten. So as I can't get a crane to physically lift my face up, then this is going to have to do. But it comes in this nice, this is the day cream. It's also got the night cream, and you can get the sets. So when they're on offer, that's when I get them. It smells not too bad. It's not really, yeah, it smells like sort of a, oh, I don't know really. But again, I only put a tiny bit on, and then like that's totally enough for your whole face and part of your neck. So that's good. I'm gonna let that sit for a minute and just cool down. So where was I? This is going to be one of those videos, isn't it, where I'm going to be flitting backwards and forwards and trying desperately to remember what I said. Not easy. So yeah, after the nightclub incident, I was feeling very, very down, and yeah, I think I was 47 by this point, so I'd already gone like 2 years of feeling like totally crap about myself. I was crying lots, I was having joint pain, and my mood was very all over the place, but more on the downside. And also I'd started, I don't know if anyone else has experienced it, like the vaginal atrophy, which is dry vag basically. That sounds horrible, but that's what it is. And when you get that, obviously you can suffer with soreness and itchiness, and that is what I was having. But obviously I had no idea that this was what I was going through. And then I spoke to my cousin, and she said, go to the doctor because I think she said it sounds like the menopause. And I was like, the menopause? I was like, but I'm only like 47. She said, no, just go. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor was fabulous, and she was an absolute advocate for HRT. So the minute I went in and I started telling her my symptoms, and I was quite tearful and everything, she said, let's get you on some HRT. She said, you know, you're definitely going through the menopause. And I was like, oh my God, like all this time, this is what I've been going through, and I've just been suffering. And she said, you don't have to suffer. Nobody has to suffer at all. So let's get you on a course of HRT and see how it works. So I went on these tablets. I can't remember what I was on now. If I can remember, I'll put it on the screen, but I'm not entirely sure. I started taking those, and admittedly after about 3 months I started to feel a little bit better, but my hair never really got any better, and even to this day it still doesn't feel as good as it used to. I've just kind of got used to it now, and I'm trying to sort of deal with it in my own way. And if you saw my last video, I tried on different wigs from Shein and Temu, and sometimes, you know, I can put on a wig if I'm having a bad hair day, and I'm going to wear a wig today, not because I'm having a bad hair day, but just because I want to. And the sun has come out now. It's quite a beautiful day actually out there. Yeah, so I went on this HRT, and these tablets were okay, but then I was finding, I think I'd gone out with the girls and we'd had, you know, not that many drinks. I think I'd only had two or three drinks, like glasses of Prosecco. Now, you know, I've drunk Prosecco for years, so, you know, it's not really a big deal. But oh my God, the next day I woke up with such a hangover, and I was sick all day, like physically sick. And the headache, like round here, was like somebody stabbing me in the head. You know, I was actually quite worried at one point, and I couldn't get out of bed. I stayed in bed like the whole day, and I was in and out of the toilet or the bathroom throwing up. And even the next day I still didn't feel great, and I felt like very not with it. So that was a thing. But I thought, oh, it's just a one-off, maybe I'd had a bad bottle or something. And I thought I literally only had 2 or 3 glasses, so it's not like I had 7 bottles or anything. Okay, so now that my face is dry, I'm going to use one of my favourite foundations. I do use Avon foundation as well, but I ran out and I still haven't ordered any to replace it. So this is kind of my go-to because I can literally just pop up the road and get it. It's Rimmel's Lasting Finish foundation, and it's got an SPF of 20, I think that says. And this is in the shade Ivory 100, number 100 Ivory. I can't remember how much I paid for this because it just varies where you go. I get mine in Morrison's sometimes, but they don't always have my shade, so then I go to Superdrug. But I put it on with my Avon fluffy brush. I think this is the all over face powder brush, so it's not really meant for foundation, but I just like it. I do have a flat foundation brush as well, and Avon have got that one at the minute. They've also got the all over face brush. It's slightly newer looking, and I will put all the information on the screen so that you can have a look at that as well. This is almost running out now. Right, I'm going to have my mirror for this because there's no way I can see that far ahead. So right, look at this, multitasking here. Right, so I've hardly got any left. Let's cover my Rudolph nose. I always like a full coverage foundation, whichever one I choose. But some of them say they're full coverage and then you put them on and they're not really. I really need to get a new one. Sorry, my camera decided to turn itself off for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, so I put it all over my face like that. And then I like to go all over my eyes. Just trying to make sure that you can see as well. Look at the lovely sunshine, it's so nice, it's so bright. Love it when it's like this. Doesn't it just make you feel happy on these sort of wintry months that the sun comes out and it's just so bright? I love winter days like this. I also love like the frosty mornings with the full sun, that's just gorgeous. But days like this when it's a little bit warmer and not icy or snowy, these days are fantastic. Put some down my turkey neck. Anyone else got that? Wasn't it lovely getting older and having the menopause and everything else? So back to my menopausal journey. I went on that for like probably about a year and a bit. I put up with that, and then in the end I was just like, no, I need to just come off it. I did come off it. Did I come right off it? No, they changed the tablet, and that was a lot better. But with these tablets, I was then having a monthly bleed. So I was like, I don't need to be having a monthly bleed. You know, I'm not at the age where I want to have another child or anything like that. I was in a relationship, but it was kind of a little bit fraught, and also I was sort of disillusioned with my job, and then like a lot of things were going on at that time, so I was still suffering like with my mood. It was kind of up and down, but I didn't know whether it was just a multitude of, you know, all the other factors in my life as well. So it was kind of hard to tell. And then I got to 50, you know, wasn't as good a time as I had expected it to be, and I also didn't feel very good about myself. My relationship was on the rocks. It just wasn't going, things just weren't going very well. I'd left my school job because I just couldn't cope with that anymore, and I started up my own little cleaning business. That was going quite well, but I was finding I was struggling because of my joints, like, you know, bending down and cleaning and doing things like that. Some days I was thinking, I just don't know if I could do this. I mean, I'm only in my 50s, but I felt like I was in my 80s. So yeah, that was hard going. My partner was fed up with his job. My kids were sort of suffering with various different things, and just life felt a bit crappy in general. So we decided that I would sell the house, because my then partner, it wasn't his home. He'd kind of moved in with me, which was a big mistake, but nevertheless it was my house, and I thought if I sell it, we could all go and start a new life in Spain. I was desperate to go there. Like, I just wanted to go, and we found a little business to buy. We were going to rent, so we were going to use the money from the house, because at that time you had to have, I think it was 9,000 euros each in the bank to be able to move over there. And if you started like a self-employed business, we still wanted to do it, and the little business was so cute. And because of my business that I've got now, I would be able to run something very similar, but kind of adapt it. And I'm not explaining it all very well, but I don't want to go into too much detail right now. We thought, okay, we can do that and get it all up and running. And my partner was like, yeah, you know, that'll be great. And I said, I can set you up with, because he wanted to do like car detailing, which was like cleaning of cars, like really intricate cleaning. So he wanted to do that. So I said, you know, if we all go, I can like pay for your startup for the business. So he's like, oh, that would be great. Okay. So we're coming in now to 2020, and this was very early on. And then we'd done all our research. We got everything kind of, well, getting into place. We put the house on the market, and then of course lockdown hit, and that was that. So we had to take the house off the market and everything. It was just like a house of cards, and it all just came crashing down. And then something happened in my ex-partner's life that affected us as well, like hugely. It was such a big shock. That was kind of it. really, and after that we sort of limped on together, but I think it was pretty much dead in the water from the year before, or maybe 2 years before that. But you know, you kind of just keep going, don't you? But anyway, it was the best thing, like for it to end, that is. So I'm using this palette from Avon at the minute. This was the original Ultra Colour one, I think it is, or Avon True Colour Perfect Wear, but now it's called Ultra Colour, and they're mini palettes, they're called, or quads, and they come sort of like with 4 different shades of eyeshadow in them. And this is an old one, so these are no longer available, but I'll put on the screen the product that's available now. And they've got different colours anyway. I'm sure there'll be a palette to suit your skin tone. I think they kind of got the bronze and the purple one I like, so I might order that one next. Although I do have this one. This was another original packaging, the Mark range. This is Epic Intense Eyeshadow Mini Palette. So this is similar to the purple one that I've put on the screen, but that looks like that. This looks like this. Yeah, this colour. Oh, gorgeous. Very, very nice. So I might try that one on my eyes today. Let's see. Right, so this one, I'm going to use this top eyeshadow. It's a highlighter, really, for your brow bone, but I kind of like it on the lid. So I like to put it on my lid like that. I just think it makes your eyes look really bright. Put a little bit in the corner. It's really warm in here today. Ooh, like the sun. The sun's warmed up the house. Yeah, so that's what I've got on. I can't see very well either. Like, this eye is my distance, long distance, and then this eye is my short distance. So I've got 2 different eyeballs, which is really difficult. And then I've got 2 different sets of glasses. So one for obviously long distance and driving, and then I've got my short distance for reading. Yeah, but I can't watch the telly with that because it's too far away. It's a right pain. I really need varifocals. When I first went to get my eyes tested and they said you could have varifocals, I was like, well, I'm not 90, I don't need varifocals. But now I'm thinking I do need them because I don't want to keep swapping my glasses over. But obviously you can't wear glasses when you're doing your makeup, can you? So yeah, the trials have been like a lover of makeup and nightmare. But yeah, I'm gonna see what this, I'm using the pale lilac colour. Sorry if I'm just ranting, but you know, the rantings of a postmenopausal woman. Because I do believe that I'm finished with the menopause, but because I'm on HRT, I don't get a period or anything, even a fake period anymore. Because, let's go back. Let's rewind, because I was saying that with the new tablets that I was having on the HRT, I was getting a fake bleed, like monthly. So that was just an absolute nightmare. And for that, I used to have it for 4 days, but the 4 days I was in agony. Like, I'd have stomach pain, and yeah, it just wasn't good. But obviously then when my relationship like fell apart and everything else, I just stopped using it. So I just thought, well, I don't really need to be using it at the minute, and perhaps I just need a break. So I had a little break from it, and then I decided that, you know, I was still struggling with my mood, and I thought, like this as well, like my face has really changed. I mean, I've never been a skinny girl or anything, and I've always had quite a round face, but at least it was, you know, it didn't seem to be falling downwards to the floor. But I just find these bits here, I just hate them. every time I look at myself in the mirror or on a picture, that's all I see. You know, you just have to embrace the new you, don't you? And that's what I've been trying to do, and I'm just thinking, it doesn't matter. It is who I am now. That's how, you know, that's how age affects us, doesn't it? It affects us in all different ways, and this is how it's affecting me. Like my hair, my face, and my stomach as well. I find the bloated stomach constantly, that constant 9-month pregnant look, it's just really hard, because when you're trying on clothes, nothing fits properly, does it, anymore? Like your whole body changes, like the weight shifts, and rather than it being here and, you know, you're nice and voluptuous, you just, I don't know, you just end up looking like a pumpkin. Right, I'm going for purple because I think it sometimes makes my eyes look green. And then I'm going to try the purple up in the socket here. So let's see. What I do first is I like to make it look a complete mess and a bit clown-like, and then I smudge it out with my great Avon brushes that sort of smudge and make it just look nice and neat. So let's look like a clown for a little bit. Ta-da! Pretty, huh? Okay, so these are my two brushes. I think I'll put these on the screen if I can find them in the book, because these are old now, but I've had them so long. This one's great because it's like a little bit stiffer, so it's good for like sometimes getting the powder on the brush and putting it on your eyes. But this one, I think I've gone a bit too clown-like on this one. The colour on these eyeshadows is quite pigmented, so I told you I can't see very well. And then I use the thicker brush. The bristles are a lot softer and a bit more fluffy, and that's really good for blending. I hope you can see. It's because I can't see, so I don't know if you can see. But see how that's blended the colour. Blended the colour right out. I know a lot of people do their foundation after they've done their eyeshadow, so that if any, you know, like powder forms, that they can get rid of it. But I always like to put my foundation on first, so that it kind of sets a neutral palette for your face. Oh, look at me, my technical language. Okay, right. And next, I have got this ultra, is it ultra volume? So I've got this ultra volume mascara. I really like this, and I like the brush. It's one of those really thick brushes. How nice that looks. But I've also got, so this is an Avon one. I don't know if they've still got it, but I'll put a picture on the screen of this, or the nearest that I can find to it. But I also, this is my favourite, it's Rimmel's Extra Super Lash. Really like that, and that's in the shade Blackest Black. Really like this one. This is brand new, this one. And there's the brush. I like this because it's got a thinner end, so that's good for like all the thinner bits. So I'll be using this one today. to wipe the excess off because you don't want great big clumps of mascara. Does anyone else like leave their mouth open when they're doing their eyes? I don't know why we do it. It's really weird, like a concentration face. I'm gonna consciously try and keep my mouth shut. Not easy when you're trying to do a video. So I can use the ends as well, like for the thicker part. That's another thing that suffered. My eyes, like from the menopause as well, like all under here, they seem to have like drooped down, and then I've got a droopy eyelid as well, or both. Yeah, I got 2 for the price of 1. So that's all good, isn't it? I keep expecting to like come down for breakfast one day and find my whole face like in my cornflakes or something, because it's drooped down so much. Yeah, it takes some getting used to, that does. I like to just coat, like very lightly, like coat all my lashes first. It's very hard trying to do it for the camera and trying to see as well, so I'm sorry if you can't see brilliantly, but I'm trying. Yeah, my lashes aren't as thick either as they used to be, and I've noticed that, you know, I have to really sort of try hard to get my lashes to stand up. They sort of, I could put lots of mascara on and then they end up sort of still going downwards, so maybe I should try some false eyelashes. I have worn false eyelashes in the past, but sometimes it's just like, it's such a faff, isn't it? And I don't want to go out and look completely fake, like fake hair, you know, fake eyelashes, because I've got fake nail. So yeah, you don't want to be completely fake, do you? Then I just use the little end just to do the bottom lashes. And then I let that sit just for a little bit whilst I go back in with the eyeshadow. Now I'm gonna get my other brush and just dab a little bit in there, just to highlight it a little bit more, just give it a bit more colour. You see, I keep my eyes like as wide as I can and get into that socket.
Yo sé que te gusta.
I forget to tap it off. I have got like an amethyst colour eyeliner as well, so sometimes I wear that, but I do wear black. I'm still a fan of the winged eyeliner. I have been using that technique since, I don't know, since the late 80s, so, and I still use it now. I'm obviously stuck in that era because, you know, it was a pretty good era, and it was when I was, you know, not at my most fabulous, but pretty fabulous, I would say. I'm just putting like a slight wing with the eyeshadow. And do you find that you can do one eye better than the other? Like one side of your hair is always better than the other, isn't it? Why is that such a thing? It's very strange. Next I'm going to use my Glimmer Stick eyeliner. This is from Avon. They've got lots of different shades, so, and I really like this because it twists up, so you don't need a sharpener, which is great, and then twist back down when you want to put the lid back on. I think they've got new packaging out now so you can see it on the screen. Yeah, I'm going to put my eyeliner on now. See, I've got my wing. I always find that this one I can do really easy, but this one I can't. Like, this one seems to be a bit more droopy, so when I draw the line I think I've done it perfectly, and then I got, you know, my eyes sort of go back into the normal position and it's all jagged. Very annoying. I kind of need to hold it up whilst I'm doing it, but I can't. I don't even know if they're even or not, but so yeah, that's what I use. And then I just go over it again with a bit more mascara, because I always like to do, you know, a couple of layers, sort of leave it in between each layer just to let it dry, and then go back over it. And I just find that it opens up my eyes a bit more. But yeah, I quite like that purple colour. That's nice. And then I have got a lovely Rimmel lipstick. I think I might have used this like years ago, when I was in my 20s, possibly. I'm not sure if it is the same colour, but do you remember Heather Shimmer from Rimmel? I used to use that quite a lot. This one is called Sugar Plum, number 86 in the range. But yeah, it looks like that. I'll put it on screen as well, but I think it looks a bit different in the photo. I don't know, sometimes the camera doesn't pick it up properly. Oh, look at that. But yeah, beautiful colour. I'll do that like when I'm fully ready, so I will come back. For you it will only be a couple of seconds, but for me I need a wee and, you know, everything else, so I'll be back when I'm back. But just before I go off to sort of get dressed and do my hair, gosh, it's so warm in here, honestly. I'm sweating. Back to like menopause talk. So after a few years after I sold my house and never went to Spain, and after COVID had been and gone and upset the whole world, and just, you know, everything started to settle back down again, I went back to the doctors and I changed my HRT. So I came off all the tablets completely because they just didn't seem to work for me, and I went on an HRT regime, I guess. So I decided to have the Mirena coil, which I'll put like an information, that screenshot for you. But basically you can have it, but if you've got a womb then you do need estrogen as well. So I've got a spray, this one. So this is how I get my estrogen, and it comes in a little spray pump like that. It looks like, hello. And you just like pull the lid off, and then I put it on the inside of my forearm, and then I just give 2 pumps because that is my dosage. You can go up to 3 a day, and you wait 2 minutes and it just absorbs like into your skin, and then you can't wash or put any suntan lotion or creams or perfumes on for like an hour. But I've never really had an issue with it. If I'm gonna have a shower, then I'll do all that first, and then I'll do my sprays. But yeah, that's what it is. And then on the side of the box you've got like a little grid where you can just mark it off, like what you've used. I just put the day, and it's all numbered up to the amount of sprays that's in here. And there's 56, I think. Yeah, 56. So I always put the date down when I start, and then you have 3 sprays that you keep the lid on for. So it's like 3, I don't know what they call it, priming sprays. So you spray 3, and then you put it in the box there that you've done that, and then you just mark off the days. And I always put like at the end what the day is there, just so that it helps me remember what days, because you know the menopause just completely fries your brain as well. And with everything else that you have to do in life, I suppose, you know, any help and I'm a great lover of writing things down and lists and stuff. All helps you keep organised, doesn't it? So yeah, I've been on that for, is it 3 years now? 3 years in April this year. I'm not happy about the coil anymore, so I'm going to have that taken out. I think it's caused me a lot of issues down below. I've not had any bleeding with it, so it stopped the monthly bleed like instantly, so for that, fantastic. I get itchy and sore like every few days. It's so annoying and just irritating, so the doctor has said that we will like get it removed, but then I've got to find something else to replace the progesterone. Is that correct? So I've got to find something to replace that. I could still keep the estrogen sprays, but I have to have the other part of it, and that's what, you know, I've got to go back to the doctor and discuss that first, and then we book to have it removed. It's all, sometimes I keep thinking maybe I should just try like without it now. I said I had that break a few years back, but it wasn't a long break, but maybe I could just try and see if I could go without anything, and then maybe I could just take, because you can take Menopause, can't you, or you know, other brands, so that might help with that side of things. And also I have been using the pH balance gels that you can put up there, and that balances all the flora down there and stops it from being itchy and sore. So I might just do that. That's non-hormonal, so you can just use that as often as you like, but it can be quite expensive, can't it? So it's just like, what do you do? But I'm just trying to find out what the best regime for me will be. But if I find out and I can sort all that out, then I will let you know and keep you informed. I'm going to go and get dressed now because time's cracking on, and I've got about 1,000,001 things to do, but I have to realise, and I have to tell my brain that it's okay to leave those for today. Just go and have some fun and enjoy, you know, enjoy the weekend, and then get back to the business side of stuff next week, which I will do. But for now, I'm just going to stop this because I think I'm going to wet my pants if I don't go right now, because my tea has gone right through me. And I'll be back shortly. Hello again, I'm back. So yeah, that was a little while. So you can see I've got my wig on that I had on in my last video, and I'm just going to put some gold, this is called Show Glow from Avon, and it's like a twisty up eyeshadow. It's very liquidy. Is that the word? Is that the word? Flickering Gold it's called. Glitter Flicks Sticks. But I don't think they do it anymore. Typical. It's like Lidl, isn't it? Like 1 week you go in and you find a real good product, you really like it. 2 weeks later, that's it. It's discontinued. So I think Avon do something very similar. But that's what it is. And it looks like that. It's really nice. It puts a nice lovely bit of glitter on your eyelid. I've added some orange eyeshadow as well because I wasn't happy with how the lilac looked against this. So yeah, I'm just gonna plop a bit of this on. And who doesn't love a bit of sparkle? I sounded a bit creepy then, sorry. So there. So that's that, just to give my eyelids a little pop of colour. know about this purple, I might change it. Go a bit darker. I think with my dark hair it looks alright, but with this sort of coppery tone, I'm not so sure. So yeah, I'm going in with this colour palette now that I've got. This is an old one as well. I cannot even read that. The label's worn off, that's my excuse. But yeah, this one. So it's a real spring-like day today. Just stunning. Yeah, I feel happy with that. Okay, and then I'm going to go with the pink today, this lovely one, Sugar Plum. And if not, I'll change it back to my normal, like, neutral colour, which I wear a lot. This is called a Hint of Pink, although it definitely looks like a neutral, sort of nudie brown, I would say. So yeah, not sure. That's that one. Don't know if you can see it or not. It's 077 Hint of Pink. Yeah. Oh. There. It's a nice pink. You can see that I've got this hairband on underneath. I haven't really done it properly. I need to put it down. Oh, look, my hair's coming out of it here. But oh well. Do I care? Not really. Not really. So that's that. Yep, that's the completed look. I might just go over my eyes. That's it. I like the way this bit goes around here. I feel like I've got one of those chokers on. Another 80s and early 90s thing I used to wear when going clubbing and pubbing. Back in there. But yeah, I do like this wig. I'm going to wear it out. I've got to pop to Lidl to just get a couple of bits on the way to go and see my other half. So yeah, let's give it its first like outing. I wonder if anyone's gonna like look. I wonder if they'll all be like, she's wearing a wig. Yes, I am. Who cares? I don't care. Don't you feel like once you get into your sort of late 40s, early 50s, you just stop caring about what other people think? I mean, I've not really cared much about what people thought. Like, even as a teenager, I was very much like, I don't care what you think, I'm gonna do what I want anyway. But now I feel like I just have a bit more grace about it. Yeah, I think I'm just rambling now because my head, I've got so many tabs open right now. I'm thinking, right, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, then I've got to do that bit, and don't forget that. So yes, so I thought I'll just pick up the camera anyway and just film a video for you. Can you believe, like, we're just over halfway into one of the worst months of the year? I mean, literally, it's nearly 4 weeks ago that it was Christmas Day, and for me it just feels like I'm still waiting for Christmas Day and all the excitement, and now it's gone and we're heading towards February. I noticed when I went out last night at, I think it was 5 o'clock, it was still bright, and I thought, that's weird, isn't it, for January? Normally it's still quite dark up until late Feb, and then it starts, you know, you notice that the skies are getting a bit brighter, but it just seems to be getting brighter, or staying brighter longer already, which is great. I mean, I love it. I can't, as much as I like the autumn and the winter, spring and summer for me are just much more joyous because it's warmer, you can be outside. I just love being outside in the summer. I want to be outside having barbecues and having drinks with friends or family, and just being in the garden and spending all that time outside, like till 10 at night when it's still bright. Love that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Let's hope this year is as good as last year was, weather-wise. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling now because my camera is flashing going, shut up, like you've killed the battery. So I'll say bye now and see you next time, and thank you for watching, especially if you are still here at the end. Well done. And yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this, and my link for the Avon store will be hopefully in the description. So until next time, bye.